Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and you're with me Arun Sharma. And today's session mein, I'm going live with you guys, and I'm taking the CSAT 2021 questions, basic numeracy questions. I'm trying to do as many as I can do in this session, and we'll continue with more over the next couple of days. So without any further ado, 5 o'clock, well, the session was supposed to happen at 5, but I think there was some technical glitch with the sharing of the screen on the software, so it was not happening. And there's some changes I needed to make which are not working out. So I'm going ahead with sharing my screen now. I guess you should be able to see my screen now. And right, so this is the first question. Let's just go through the questions one by one. So the first question here is it's actually a remainder theorem based question. Even if you're preparing for any other exam, it is worth doing it in the context of these questions will be good for you even if you're preparing for any other aptitude exam, whether it's CAT or IPMAT or CUET. All those audience who's there on YouTube with us, you will benefit from these sessions. So I'm starting this series of sessions in which we'll be covering previous year papers of all exams one by one. So since 5th June we have got the UPSC exam, so that's why I've kept today as this week I'm focusing on the UPSC paper, and then we'll go back to other exams including CAT and IPMAT and CUET and CLAT, etc. After that. Right, so this is the first question. You guys can try this along with me. The question says 3 raised to 2015, 2019 divided by 10. We want the remainder. Because, and when you're looking at the remainder of 3 raised to 2019 divided by 10, it is the same thing as looking for the unit digit of 3 raised to 2019. The two things are exactly the same. Finding the unit digit of 3 raised to 2019 and finding the remainder when you divide 3 raised to 2019 by 10. Finding the remainder and finding the unit digit is the same thing, because the unit digit is also for any number, A, B, C, D, let's say. If I've got a number like A, B, C, D, if I divide this by 10, the remainder will be E itself. If A, B, C, D is a 5-digit number, then E will be the remainder. So the unit digit is always the remainder divided by 10. Just like the remainder divided by 100 is the last 2 digits. So unit digit का logic बहुत simple है. इसको तुमको convert करना पड़ेगा. You have to convert this to the remainder of 3 cube or unit digit of 3 cube. That's it. Why 3 cube? This is because 3 has a cyclicity. 3 के powers have a cyclicity of 4 unit digits. They have a cyclicity of 4 values, and that cyclicity is 3 raised to 1 is 3, 3 square is 9, 3 cube is 7 unit digit, and 3 raised to 4 is 1. And these 4 numbers repeat going from 3 raised to 5 to 3 raised to 8. They repeat from 3 raised to 9 to 12 and so on. So this will go all the way to 3 raised to 2016, which will have a unit digit of 1. And 2017 will have 3, 2018 will have 9, and 2019 will have 7. So the correct answer to this question is 7, option C. And it's basically a 30-second question if you know the logic involved in this question while solving this. Right, so let me just go to the second question. You guys can try this. You can try this question. The number, this is based on divisibility. In fact, even if you're preparing for CAT or other exams, other top exams, this UPSC questions on basic numeracy will kind of give you a LOD1, LOD2 kind of feel. So somewhere between what difficulty level you will face in UPSC and what difficulty level you will face in CAT or other exams. So these questions lie somewhere there. So this second question is, we want to test 3, 7, 9, 8, 1, 2, 5, P, 3, 6, 9. We want to test it for divisibility by 7, and we want to identify the value of P at which it will be divisible. That's what the question is asking us. So, and then it's given us options for the value of P. The digit P can be 1, it can be 6, it can be 7, or it can be 9. So we've got 4 possible values for P. So if I start, what I have to start doing here, essentially, in this question, what I have to start doing here is start cancelling out this with 7. So 37 divided by 7 gives me a remainder of 2. And this 2 will associate with this 9, make it 29 divided by 7 gives me a remainder of 1. 1 and 8 makes it 18. 18 divided by 7 gives me a remainder of 4. 41 divided by 7 gives me a remainder of 6. 62 divided by 7 gives me a remainder of 6. 65 divided by 7 gives me a remainder of 2. So I now want a number like 2P369 to be divisible by 7. That's what I want. So when I do this, I can start picking up values from the options. If I pick 1 as the option, this number becomes 21369. And how quickly you can do this, इसको कितना तेज कर पाओगे वो डिपेंड करेगा तुम्हारे सॉल्विंग स्पीड पे. So 21 divided by 7 gives me a 0, 36 divided by 7 gives me a remainder of 1. I'm only tracing the remainder, because if it has to be divisible, the last में 0 आना चाहिए remainder. So 19 divided by 7 gives me a remainder 5, तो ये work नहीं कर रहा है. So I can reject the option 1 here. And then if I pick up a second option, let's say I pick up an option of 6 from here, and I try 26369. If I try 26369 by 7, what I get is I get a remainder of 5. 53 by 7 gives me a remainder of 4. 46 by 7 gives me a remainder of 4, and 49 by 7 gives me a remainder of 0, which means at 6 it is divisible, and the correct answer is 6. So option B is the right answer in this question, and that's how you solve this question. Right, so this is the second question. You guys can, while I clean this board, you guys can go to the third one and try to do this one. This question is based on geometric progressions. Have a look at this question. And what you have to be able to understand in this question is that the question says, at a biology class at high school predicted that the local population of animals will double in size every 12 years. So this is the information given to us. The population goes double in size every 12 years. Right, this is what is mentioned to us. And the population at the beginning of the year 2021 was estimated to be 50 animals. So beginning of 2021, mind you, this is the 2021 paper. So beginning of 2021, it was 50 animals. So essentially, what this information tells us is that after 1 year, it will become 50 into 2. After the second year, it will become 50 into 2 square. Sorry, after 12 years. So 2033, it should become 50 into 2. In 2045, exactly after 24 years, it will become 50 into 2 square, and so on. So the population expected in 2033 is 100. In 2045, it's 200. So once I understand this, I read the question further. If P represents the population after n years, then which of the following equations represents the model of the class for the population? So if I look at the first option, I mean, the best thing to do here is not think much. Although if you think a little bit mathematically, you will realize that since this multiplication of the population essentially means that we are talking about a geometric progression in the population, and geometric progressions cannot have formulas like what is given in option A and option B. So option A and B will get rejected very, very easily. So you're only talking about option C or D, because C, B and A and B are more representative of kind of options you have if there is an arithmetic progression. So if I check for C, right, if I check for C, and the question is asking the population after n years. The question is asking me the population after n years. So if I check for C, option C, the population given to me is P is equal to 50 into 2 raised to 12n. Now, if I put n equals 12, I know from my understanding of what they told me at the start of the problem that after 12 years, after a period of 12 years, my population should be 50 into 2. Right? My population should be 100. But if I put n is equal to 12 inside this, I get a population of 50 into 12, 2 into 12 square, which is too much, too large. I just need a multiplier of 2 here. So which is why option C can get rejected. If I check option D, I can check that if I put 50 into 2 raised to n by 12, and inside this equation, if I insert n is equal to 12, I'll get the value of P as 50 into 2, which is 100, 2 raised to 1. And if I put n as 24, I can see that the answer will become 50 into 2 square. And that is going to be 200, which is the expected population is 2045. So I can actually mark this option D. In fact, if you are in a hurry and you had worked out that A and B are more of arithmetic progression questions, and C is out of the question, D will be marked without even checking that. Okay, so this is your next question now. This is the next question now. Let me clean up the board in the meantime. You guys can have a look at this question, the third one. So this question, take me a little bit more time to get this clean. Okay, so this question is saying in a class, 60% of students are from India. So if you've got this class, let's say there are a total of 100 students in this class. Then from India, we got 60, which means not India, that means foreign. Students would be 40. I'm assuming the class is Indian. And 50% of the students are girls. Now when you are giving an India and foreign breakdown of the question of the population, and then you are talking about 50% of the class being girls, you are giving a secondary breakdown, which is telling you girls and boys. And if there are 50 girls, there are 50 boys. So given the fact that we have split the population on the basis of India foreign, and then we have split the population on the basis of girls and boys, you should be able to perceive that there are 4 kinds of people who are getting created in this question. One is Indian girls and Indian boys. The third and fourth are foreign girls and foreign boys. So Indian girls, Indian boys, foreign girls and foreign boys, and they will also get represented. The same four numbers also get represented when you talk about Indian and foreign. Girls Indian, girls foreign, and boys Indian and boys foreign. So you have to understand the link between this number and this number. You have to understand that these two numbers will be same because this number here is talking about Indian girls. This number here is talking about girls who are Indians. They are the same, whether you look at it from this angle or that angle. Likewise, foreign girls here and foreign girls here are same. They're equal. Likewise, Indian boys here and Indian boys here will be equal. So when I look at this situation, the next scenario given to me, the next statement given to me, once I understand the structure, the next statement given to me is 30% of the Indian students are girls. So 30% of the Indian students, that means 60. So I get this number as 18. And if I get this number 18 here, I also get this number 18 here. And if I get this number 18 here, because this total is 50, foreign girls will be 32. And if foreign girls here is 32, foreign girls here will also be 32. And if foreign girls is 32 here, foreign boys will be 8. And if foreign boys is 8 here, foreign boys will be 8 here. And likewise, this 42 you can get from here also, 60 minus 18, or you can get it from 50 minus 8, both places. You get Indian boys as 42. So question is, what percentage of foreign students? What percentage of the foreign students are boys? So the answer is 8 out of 40, which works out to be 20%. 8 out of 40, which works out to be 20%. So option D is the right answer in this question. And this is again symptomatic of, are you able to get the access of this thing? I'm sorry, I'm not able to see your chats. Maybe I'll try to connect YouTube on the phone here before I. So that I can watch your chats, etc. along the way, right? So yeah, right. So yeah, Tanay, 2023 ke liye I'll be doing classes on the app, or not necessarily on the app. We'll be doing it on Mindworks only. So the sessions will be happening. I'll be taking classes there. Or 2022 wale bhi students, we had around 15-20 students were enrolled. So they have got access to my videos in those classes also. My basic videos have been provided to them in the context of the questions. In the context of all the chapters, and the other teachers are basically just doing the live component of it. But for the 2023 session, of course, I will be working on both angles. I'll be also taking live sessions from time to time. Okay, so let's come back to the next question then. I hope this was okay. So question 5, dekho. From January 1, 2021, the price of petrol in rupees on nth day of the year is 80 plus 0.1 N. Petrol price of petrol is 80 plus 0.1 N. So this is a function defined for the price of petrol, where N is equal to 1 to 100. Right? So what that means, and this is in rupees per liter. So what that means is that every day, as you increment N by 1, 2, 3, on the first day of the year, the price is 80 plus 0.1. On the second day of the year, the price is 80 plus 0.2. and so on. On the second day of the year, the price is 80.2. And those of you going for CAT, do look up the Darjeeling Tea UTT question of CAT 2007. You'll see that it's exactly the same logic. And that's why I say that when I'm taking the previous year questions, किसी भी exam का previous year question ले रहा हूँ, it's relevant for all the exams. So even if you're preparing for other exams, do follow this series, because this is going to be very important for all of you. When I do a CAT paper series, at least the arithmetic questions, even if you're going for CSAT, do look at those, right? So yeah, so Ankit, my app is available on the App Store under My Institute, but currently classes, live classes, etc., we're doing through the Mindworks website, right? And so what you have to understand this question when you read this is essentially that the price of petrol is 80 rupees. The base price is 80 rupees, and it goes up by 10 paise per day. If you read this in English, this is what it is saying. It goes up by 10 paise per day, and it goes up for 100 days. And then it remains constant. And thereafter remains constant. It's written there. So, and constant after that. The other logic given here, on the other hand, price of diesel is 69 plus 0.15 N, where N is between 1 to 160. For any N means N is between 1 to 365. So when you talk about the understanding of this statement, what it means essentially is that the price of diesel is 69 rupees, the base price is 69 rupees, and it increments by 15 paise per day. And the other difference is that the price of petrol is incrementing every day, only for 100 days. After that, it remains constant. The price of diesel is incrementing by 15 paise per day. 15 paise per day, but it does not increment after, it continues incrementing the whole year. So the question is, on which date in the year 2021 are the prices of these two fuels equal? So as I said, those of you giving CAT, you can have a look at the Darjeeling Tea UTT question. You'll realize it's exactly the same question as this one. Exactly the same question as this one. It is just that, in fact, even the answer is same. 20th में उसका भी answer था. Only difference उसमें, if I remember correctly, this was 89 plus 0.15 N, and this was 100 plus 0.1 N. That's the only difference. So the simplest thought, this can be solved through a lot of difficult methods, but I am here to simplify the exam or simplify the question. The simplest thought is you have to understand that there's an 11 rupee difference. In paise terms, the difference is 1100 paise. And every day, diesel is growing by 15 paise, petrol is growing by 10 paise. So for the first 100 days, every day we have 5 paise closing of gap. Diesel is catching up on petrol by 5 paise per day, every day. So in 100 days, diesel will catch up by 500 paise. After that, the equation changes. How the equation changes is that the gap still is 600 paise, because you had an initial gap of 1100 paise, out of which 500 paise gap had gaya. The gap still is 600 paise. And now you have only, this is not incrementing. So only diesel is incrementing. And it's incrementing at 15 paise per day. So if I divide this by 15, 40 more days, so you get the answer as the 140th day of the year. 100 days for matching up 500 paise and another 40 days for catching up for 600 paise. So 140th day of the year. So since it's a non-leap year, you can do that calculation as 31st January, 28th February, 31st March, that 90 days, 30th April, 120 days, and 20th May. So on 20th May, the price will be equal. So the answer is option B in this question. right? Darshit is asking me about CAT. Can I score 99.9 plus percentile in quant doing only my book, LOD 123? Yes, Darshit, you can. Definitely, you can do that. You can definitely do that. You can definitely try to score that. It's. I mean, you don't only do the book. This thing, along with the book, you will need a test series, a good quality test series. You can have a look at our test series, the Arun Sharma CAT challenge for CAT. You can look at that, and you can try to use that one. Okay, next question now. I'm picking up the next question. A bank employee drives 10 kilometers south from a house and turns to a left. So this is more of a reasoning question. My typist has put it into the numeracy part. So don't worry, we'll still do this. A bank employee drives 10 kilometers south from her house. So this is her house. She drives 10 kilometers south, turns to a left, and drives another 20 kilometers. So she turns left. A left turn, if you're going south, a left turn will take you east. She turns left and goes another 20 kilometers. She again turns left and drives 40 kilometers. So she's again turned left and drive 40 kilometers. Which means that from her original position, if this was 10, she's up by 30 kilometers here. And then she turns to her right and drives another 5 kilometers. So she's going right again and driving another 5 kilometers. Maybe I'll redraw her whole picture below so that I can actually make it in the correct proportions. If this is a house, she's gone down by 10, then turned left, gone left by 20, then gone north by 40. Out of that 40, 10 will be got in recovering the distance on the house. She's now east of the house at this point, and then she's gone 30 more on top, and then she turns right and drives another 5 kilometers. So here she'll turn right. So if you're going north and you turn right, you're going east, you drive 5 kilometers, and then she again turns right. So if you're going east and you turn right, you're going south, that means, and you drive 30 kilometers. So essentially what has happened is she's come back to this horizontal line where the house was. And the distance from her house to the bank where she works, the shortest distance from the house to the bank that she works is essentially 20 kilometers here and 5 kilometers there. This 40, don't get confused by this 40. This 40 was the distance of this. So 20 kilometers here and 5 kilometers there. So option B is the right answer in this question. That was the solution of this question. CSAT D-Day, Tanay, tips for D-Day, CSAT, just keep your cool and make sure, thoda sa, I was looking at the comprehension paper of CSAT 2021, बहुत ही twisted, tough था उसमें to identify the right answers. So don't bank too much on comprehension. अगर जो clear answers मिल रहे हैं वो तो कर लो, लेकिन जो twisted turn around questions है तो ज़्यादा numeracy और reasoning पे focus करो and make sure that you solve at least 40 to 50 questions on numeracy and reasoning. Yes, Lokesh, 25 is the right answer. So let's look at the 7th question. This question you've seen in my books also, but this question is slightly different from what my books give you. So थोड़ा सा modification है इसका. इसको try करो. And I'll be doing this regularly. I hope we can get more audience. 7, 5, 8 people does not enthuse me much, but I hope we can get more audience. You guys can help me spread the word around so I can do this regularly. Right? Yeah. At this age and at this stage of life, you would rather be dealing with 500 and 1,000 people than 5-10 people. But I hope more people can join from the next time. And of course, it's also our responsibility to make this more popular. Problem previous year question solving, and we'll be picking up all the papers here. So ये question बहुत ही simple है. इस question में बोल रहा है कि a boy plays with a ball and it drops it from a height of 1.5 meters. So he's dropping it from 150 centimeters, 1.5 meters. Every time the ball hits the ground, it bounces back to attain a height of 4/5 of the previous height. So the ball bounces back and goes up to 1.2 or 1.2 meters or 120 centimeters. And then it comes down. And then it will go up again by 96, 4/5 basically. This number is coming from 150 into 4/5. The next number is coming by from 150 into 4/5 into 4/5. So this component is 120. So 120 into 4/5 is 96. So this is how it keeps going. So normally in this question, they ask you, if you look at this is a standard question from GPs and from infinite GPs. And this question, what they ask you normally is what is the total distance traveled? It keeps bouncing till infinite times till it comes to rest. And so it comes to rest after infinite times. That's the normal question. So what's the total distance traveled is the question. But if you look at this question has a surprise here. यहाँ पे what they are saying is that the ball does not bounce further if the previous height is less than 50 centimeters. The ball does not bounce further if the previous height is less than 50 centimeters. So what this means is that you've got 150. So the question is asking what is the number of times the ball hits the ground before the ball stops bouncing. So I will have the ball hitting the ground first time here, and then it bounces back 120. And it falls back to 120. So my second instance of the ball hitting the ground is there. After a drop of 120. Next drop is 96. And basically, if you look at this on the PCG structure, the percentage change graphic structure, what is happening is every subsequent drop is 20% less, because when you multiply a number, this is basic mathematical logic that if you multiply a number by 4/5, it means the same thing as reducing the number by 20%. These two things in maths mean the same thing. So you keep reducing it by 20%, 150 becomes 120, 120 becomes 96, 96 becomes 20% of 96 is 19.2. So if I subtract 19.2, this becomes 76.8. Another 20% here. So I've got my first bounce of 120, my second bounce of 150, my second bounce of 120, my third bounce of 96, my fourth bounce of 76.8, and my fifth bounce is a drop of 15.36, which means that's a subtraction, 20% subtraction on 76.8. So my fifth bounce is 61.44. That's my fifth bounce. And after that, so it's going to bounce back by 61.44. And now I need to get careful, because when it drops from 61.44, the next bounce up is 61.44 into 0.8 or 20% less than that. So 20% less than that. So the bounce up will be this bounce up will be less than 50. So I've got another bounce up. This bounce is going to happen. The key here is to understand that this bounce is going to happen. It's not going to not happen, because this fall down was 61.44 centimeters. The ball only stops when it hit if its previous size is less than 50 centimeters. So this 49 के आसपास जो jump back है वो होगा, and then 49 का drop भी होगा. So I've got a sixth instance. A lot of people made a mistake of saying only 5 instances, but in this question the ball will hit the ground. The question is asking what is the number of times the ball hits the ground before the ball stops bouncing. So this was the sixth hit, or the sixth fall on the ground. So not the fifth one. So the correct answer in this question is C. So this was the seventh question. I'm intending to do at least 10. Two triggers I have to wind up the session. One is a 30-minute time frame, so that you have, and of course once it is all done, all the questions are discussed. So I will also ask my video editors to look on these four videos of 10 questions each. There are around 40 questions on basic numeracy in CSAT 2021. So we look for people. We'll create a one video of that. And just for those of you giving CSAT on 5th, I'll be live on 5th after the paper in the evening, and I'll be discussing the whole paper, most of the questions at least on that day. So next question: images of consonants of the English alphabet, capitals, are observed in a mirror. What is the number of images which do not look like the original shapes? So first of all, this is about only consonants. When I think about my alphabets, I have to segregate A, E, I, O, U. So my consonants are these. And they are written in capitals, so that's why I have to write the Y like that. And the question is asking, what is the number of images of these which do not look like the original shapes? So we have to first ignore this. So I've got 21. So out of these 21, we are trying to look for those that look like their original shapes. So what has to happen, or what you have to understand here, is something that will look like itself will only be something that has a central axis on which both sides are same. So for example, the letter T has a central axis which is symmetrical on both sides. So T will actually be one of the letters which will look the same both sides, both ways, whether I look at it in the mirror or I look at it straight. V also has a central axis, W also has a central axis, X also has a central axis, and Y also has a central axis. Z does not have it. So out of 21 letters, we are trying to look at how many of them have the central axis. So once we can find those, if these will look the same, then we can find out how many do not look like the original shapes. Please look at the question. The question is asking us how much the shapes which do not look like the original shapes. How many images will not look like the original shapes? So if I come back here, if I go through my letters here, B, C, D, F, G, H, H will have a central axis because H ko, if you try to draw a central axis on H, it will be symmetrical on both sides of that axis. So H is another letter which will be symmetrical, J will not be symmetrical, K will not be symmetrical, L will not be symmetrical. M written correctly in capital will look like this. So if you look at it on the mirror, it will also look the same. So I've got my 7th letter. N on the mirror will not look the same because this is not symmetrical. What is to the right is not the same as what is to the left. So N does not look the same. P does not look the same. Q, again, Q is like this. If you draw the central axis, you will see that what's on the right and what's on the left is different. They look different from each other. So this is also not right. R is also not right, and S is also not right. So there are 7 letters which have symmetry about the central axis, and that means there are seven letters which look the same. So out of 21, if I take away 7, the correct answer will be 14. Right? DC is asking about Maharashtra MBA CT. Maharashtra CT के लिए भी, I mean, if we can get a batch, we will be more than happy to launch a course. We did try to do it, but you can put a request for it. We'll see if we can get a batch on my inbox. We'll try to do a course for that. अभी तो कोई कोर्स हम लोग कर नहीं रहे महाराष्ट्र सीटी के लिए, लेकिन we can arrange one for you guys if there is a decent number of people. Okay, next question. CSAT, of course, we have a subscription for the year, and you guys can register for that. CSAT 23 के लिए I'll be also teaching. live also, apart from my videos, they'll all be available. So the next question, this is the 8th one of this series, 9th one of the session today. So integers are listed from 700 to 1000. In how many integers is sum of the digits 10? So you have to think about this in a structure. Any counting structure situation, the more structured you are, the better it is. So you got 4 kinds of numbers. When you write from 700 to 1000, you have actually in 3 digits, you've got 3 kinds of numbers: 700, 7 double dash, 8 double dash, 9 double dash. 1000, of course, will not count because of the fact that 1000 is going to be sum of digits is not 10 in that, right? Yeah, no issues, DC. I would love to hear from some students who want to do the BSc ED from us. We will definitely organize maybe a crash course. So number starting with 7. Now what is the condition? The condition is the sum of digits should be 10. Now for the sum of digits to be 10 in a number starting with 7 in a 3-digit number, my last 2 digits should add up to 3. If my last 2 digits add up to 3, they can do so with 3003, 21 and 12. Or you can think about it in straight fashion: 3021, 12 and 03. So with the number 7 starting as the starting digits, I've got 4 numbers like this. If I go with the number 8, digit 8 starting, I've got the last 2 digits adding up to 2. This can happen using 20, 11 or 02. Accordingly, my numbers are 820, 811 and 802. So I got 3 numbers more here, and with 9 as a starting, and I want the sum of digits to be 10, sum of 3 digits to be 10. That means these 2 digits should add up to 1, and that can happen only on 901 and 910. So I got 2 more numbers here, and that makes it a total of 9, which is option D. So option B is the right answer in this question, and that's what this question is all about. Okay, one last question for today. We'll stop with this. One last question for today. A woman runs 12 kilometers towards the north. Now this is again direction test question. A woman runs 12 kilometers towards the north. Then 6 kilometers towards the south. So she's come back. So she's only 6 kilometers from a starting point. If this is the starting point, she's only 6 kilometers from the starting point. And then 8 kilometers towards the east. So she's going 8 kilometers towards the east. So she's gone 6 kilometers north and 8 kilometers east. In which direction is she from the starting point? So this is the starting point. We are looking for this direction, and it's not just good enough to say it's northeast, but we are also looking at or southeast. We are also trying to look at whether it is, what is the degree, what is the angle, because the options are talking about angles here. So the other thought you have to execute here is that if this is my baseline, this position is definitely north of my starting point. So it cannot be south of my starting point. So option A, which is saying south of east, and option C, which is also saying south of east, is gone. So, and the other factor is also that this is essentially towards the east. So northeast mein hai itna to dikh raha hai, but what is the angle? So the 2 options you have got is angle less than 45 or angle more than 45. So for that, what you need to do is you need to check this 45-degree line. Now for the 45-degree line, if this is 6, this will also be 6. So this is an angle of 45 degrees north of east. So my angle of this point is a smaller angle in terms of north of east. So the correct answer is an angle less than 45 degrees north of east. which means that we are essentially talking about option B here. Right? So that's about it in this question. All good, Subhaibha. Vapdi, I hope you are also good. Darshit is asking, is it worth to solve PYQs or verbal? थोड़ा सा देख लो 2021 का comprehension की बात कर रहे हो तुम in terms of CSAT I'm assuming Darshit. तो comprehension CSAT की बात कर रहे हो तो I think you should have a little bit of a look at it. थोड़ा सा देख लो एकदम completely unknown मत जाओ. लेकिन take a look at the pictures, especially 2021 paper में काफी ambiguity है. Still waiting for the answer keys to come out, but it's very difficult to get to the right answer and justify the right answer there. CAT के लिए तो of course yes, CAT में तो of course PYQ is बहुत जरूरी है. चलो, so I hope you enjoyed this. क्या करें, एक दो क्वेश्चन और कर लें क्या? चलो एक दो क्वेश्चन और कर लेते हैं ताकि 3 सेशन में खत्म हो जाए. कल एक सेशन ले लूंगा मैं. 40 questions है करीब. So all of you going for CSAT can actually benefit from all the questions that I solved here. So 7 books PQRST UV are placed here. Reasoning का question है ज़्यादा. 7 books. Thanks Deepak. Welcome to the session. 2 question और कर लेते हैं. 2-3 question ताकि मैं 3 session में complete कर लूँ. 7 books PQRST UV are placed side by side. So PQRST. ये reasoning का question है, not quants, but चलो ठीक है तभी भी कर लेते हैं इसको. My typist decided that I should solve this question, so he put this on this slide. Then आगे क्या बोल रहे हैं? RQT have blue covers and other books have red covers. So the first dimension that they are giving us, first split they are giving us, is RQT have blue covers. And the others have red covers. So I have a red here, I have a red here, I have a red here, and a red here. So RQT have blue covers and the others have red covers. Only S and U are new books, the rest are old. The second statement says only S and U are new books, the rest are old. So the second dimension is new versus old. This was red versus blue. This is the new versus old. So what they are telling us is S and U are new. So this is a new book and U is a new book. And the rest are old books. That means I've got all these 5 books as old. PQR, TV, they're all old books. And then it says PRS are law reports and the other are gazetteers. So third dimension, PRS are law reports, PRS are law reports, and the rest are gazetteers. So GG, that means QTUV are gazetteers. So books of old, they're asking me for old gazetteers blue. So first of all, I only have to look at gazetteers, which is Q and TUV. And then when I look at old books, this is fine. Gazetteer and old is fine here, but gazetteer new, so U gets rejected. And gazetteer and old is also fine here. And we also need blue, but V is not blue, so the red cancels out. So V cancels out, U cancels out. So gazetteer, old and blue is T. Gazetteer, old and blue is Q. So the 2 books which are gazetteer old and gazetteer old and blue are Q and T. So option C is the correct answer. Right, let's look at one last question here for today. उसके बाद बंद करेंगे हम लोग. Have a look at this question. Replace the incorrect term by the correct term in the given sequence, where odd terms and even terms follow the same pattern. So if I look at my odd term pattern, my odd term, the pattern is given to me as 3, 2, 7, 4, 13, 10, 21, 18, 31, 28, 43 and 40. So they are telling me that the odd terms follow a different pattern and the even terms follow a different pattern. So what that means is that I first have to segregate the odd terms. The odd terms are these ones. And they all follow the same patterns. So the odd pattern is 3, 7, 13, 21, 31, 43. So if you look at this, this is an increasing addition. I have a plus 4 here, followed by a plus 6 here, then a plus 8 here, then a plus 10 here, and a plus 12 here. So I'm adding 4, then 6, then 8, then 10, and then 12. Now if I go for even terms, my series of even terms here is 2, 4, 10, 18, 28, and 40. These are the terms that I can see in this question. Right? So in questions को अगर देखते हैं तो यहाँ पे plus 6 is okay, mapped, plus 8 is mapped, plus 10 is mapped, and plus 12 is mapped. ये सब mapped है. The only one which is not mapped is this one, and this should be a plus 4. And I cannot change this 4, so I have to change this 2 to 0. And because if I change this 4 to 6, if I keep this 2 here and make this 6, then downstream all the numbers will change, which I cannot do. I have to change only one number. So that means I'll keep this number as 4 and keep this number as 0. And replace the incorrect term by the correct term. So the correct term is 0. Option A is the right answer. That's what it is. Right? So chalo, I enjoyed the session. I hope you guys did also. And we'll stop sharing and we can just have a small discussion before we wind up. Right, so all good. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And tomorrow I'm doing a session on Ask Me Anything. I've not done Ask Me Anything for some time. So tomorrow I think around the same time, 7 o'clock, I'll come live for the Ask Me Anything session on the channel, and I'll see you there. Chalo, bye bye everybody. See you. Thanks a lot. And I'll also do a separate session for the. अभी timing उसका decide नहीं किया, लेकिन for the UPSC one. I might do a 5 o'clock session where we'll do the next 12-13 questions. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.